Well, you two, thank you so much for visiting with Movie Fanatic.
Thanks.
Such a pleasure to sit with both of you, especially for such a wonderful film. I was curious, you guys are so fantastic together. What surprised you most about the other?
I didn't expect to laugh as much as I did. I thought you were going to be quite straight-laced.
Yeah,
and I discovered that you were a
people think
rampant
I'm big
Newman.
old stiff.
Yeah.
Really?
I think
sense quite a
I
sense
think
of
Colin's
humor
quite
there.
shy when he first meets people, and then once you start to get to really know him, he's
I do like
A lot
having
of fun.
fun on a set. I mean, I don't
I know,
really
we did
want to have to
laugh.
go to work every day with a po face.
Yeah.
And this was a lot of fun.
yeah.
I'll tell you, actually, it was interesting because when I first met Emily, it was quite some years before, we were with a group of people, and I don't remember her uttering a word. So I thought she was... I
was quite intimidated. I think maybe I was. Quite
You were very demure, I thought.
I think
and-
we all had a lot to drink that
I
night,
liked
though.
you
Maybe
like
don't
that,
remember.
though.
Well, I'm not that demure. as you
No,
found
I
out.
know.
I don't know why I was
But
appearing that way. Though.
I preferred that.
Well, too bad.
And
Got
there
to
we
know the
have
real
it.
me.
The truth comes out.
I know.
You guys kind of take on a different name in this film, and I was just curious if each of you had to change your name.
Ooh.
What name would you choose and why?
Arthur Newman.
Arthur Newman.
But
Why
saying
not?
it in English.
Yeah, I'd like to say it in my own voice.
I kind of didn't like my last name when I was a kid. It was the result of a lot of teasing.
I would go for something that's non-Anglo. I mean, Firth is not an easy one outside English-speaking world because it sounds like a grunt, particularly on the phone. It's a single syllable thing with kind of soft consonants around it. And so it sounds a
It
bit
just
like...
sounds like.
Well, it sounds like a body function or something. So, you know, if you're talking to someone who speaks Spanish or Italian or German and you say Colin, they just say... and you end up having to spell it out. And most people can't say it because the TH doesn't really operate in a lot of other languages.
True, very true.
And so you get all sorts of variations of, you know, Piert. And
Piert.
that sort of thing.
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Of all the other people's outfits that you guys wear, what was the most fun and what did you enjoy the most?
Well, you enjoyed my salmon-coloured polo shirts, didn't you?
Do you mean the ones we dress up?
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
I think my favourite scene actually in the film is the bride.
Yes,
The bride scene.
yeah.
I thought that scene when I read it, it absolutely stopped my heart, but I thought it would be a lot funnier actually. And then when we got in there, I guess that's what I loved about the script, that it unravelled in a way that was very surprising when we actually got up and did the scenes. And I thought it was going to be funnier, and actually I found it so heartbreaking to do. You know, these two people who just were completely incapable of connecting unless they masked themselves in some way. It was very poignant, and I loved doing that scene. It was
I did
special.
too. No, it worked for me, that bride scene. Perhaps not going.
All that lace.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I particularly liked you in the military fatigues. That was kind of a different
that
look
was
for
It
you.
was
That
funny.
was really funny.
That gets a
actually.
laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it was funny.
Yeah, it's just that one little tableau.
That's
Yeah, it's
it.
very funny.
Your characters are obviously so complex and so layered. What part of them most stuck with you?
Well, I think when I read it, I felt like there was something recognizable, and I think that everyone at some point in their lives has wanted to be someone else and wanted to escape. And I think that I really felt desperately for these two people, you know, who had lost their way. I think that's what stuck with me when I first connected with it, was that thing that I really understood, that the need to escape will be someone else.
I'm rather fascinated with the notion of ordinariness, apparent ordinariness. You know, you know, I suppose it's not just our own culture now. Probably since the beginning of time, heroism has been writ large. You know, whether it's Greek heroes or superheroes, or you know, and I know we love stories that come out about ordinary people doing extraordinary things in extreme moments. But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about extraordinary things that don't seem very dramatic. You know, that don't necessarily wouldn't make a front page of anything. And this is a man who's languished in the suburbs and has very good reason to consider himself a disappointment. He's been pronounced a disappointment in his big dream, which was a competitive golfer. But he's also a disappointment as a husband, a disappointment as a father. He's unhappy with his career, and so, you know, to say he's nothing special is an understatement. And then, but I think just finding out that by coming up against certain things, you know, which for him are fairly extreme, he actually starts to come into focus. Yeah. You know, it's not a. This isn't some fortune cookie morality thing about, you know, you will find, you go one way, you will find yourself, if you know, or you can't run away from yourself. It's not teaching a lesson at all. It is quite simply, I think, a very truthful, lifelike study of how things happen, and just finding out what matters to him.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And I think it's a very, very big deal. I think people need as much courage sometimes to make it difficult, to reflect on yourself in a way that's challenging, as it does to, you know, go into outer space and cross great frontiers. You know?
Yeah.